Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's major headlines. President Tinubu, Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan, agrees to pursue $5 billion trade volume. Akwa Ibom State's Governor Pastor Moino inspects jetty and marine terminal, reiterates commitment to restoring commercial activities in Oron local government area. Plus, Trump's back down on immigration enforcement push after Minneapolis shooting. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. Many thanks for staying tuned. We begin the news at 10 from a national scene where President Bola Tinubu and his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan has agreed between Nigeria and Turkey as both countries sign 9 bilateral agreement. Erdogan disclosed this at a joint press briefing with President Tinubu during the Nigeria's leader's ongoing state visit to Ankara, the Turkish capital. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nanuga, who revealed details of the agreement in a statement, said the Turkish leader noted that the establishment of a joint economic and trade committee would create opportunities for expanding Turkish investment in Nigeria to meet their target. He commended Tinubu's reforms in the energy sector, expressing optimism that cooperation between Turkish Petroleum Corporation and Nigerian counterpart would yield positive results. On security, the Turkish president pledged support for Nigeria's fight against terrorism, offering to share his country's experience in tackling insurgency. Tinubu, in his remarks, commended Erdogan's willingness to collaborate on promoting freedom, stability and prosperity globally. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has asked the Senate to approve a bill seeking to amend the Court of Appeals Act to increase the number of justices from 70 to 110 as part of reforms aimed at strengthening Nigeria's appellate justice system. The request was conveyed in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate, Senator Govt, and read at plenary on Tuesday. According to the President, the proposed amendments are intended to enhance the institutional capacity, efficiency and effectiveness of the Court of Appeal in line with constitutional provisions and emerging realities within the justice sector. It said a central feature of the bill is the expansion of the court bench to cope with rising caseloads and operational pressures. Away from that, Vice President Kashim Shettima has welcomed the Congress APC foe, praising his leadership and commitment to the people's welfare. Recall that Mufwang had 3 weeks ago dumped the PDP due to the leadership total beheveling the national leadership of the party. Shettima highlighted Mufwang's achievement, including building peace across communities, renewable energy projects, agricultural initiatives, and transport network revitalization. The Vice President assured Mufwang of President Bola Tinubu's support, stating that the President has seen the transformation Plateau had undergone under his leadership, and they are proud to have him on board the APC train. In another development, the Rivers government has approved the recruitment of 5,000 teachers to strengthen service delivery in the education sector across the state. The approval was granted by the Rivers State Executive Council at its second meeting of 2026, presided over by Governor Simalaya Fubara, with the Deputy Governor Ngozi Odung in attendance. Briefing journalists after the meeting held at the Government House in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Communications, Anna Siwaru, said the recruitment is deliberately targeted at improving the quality of education in the state. According to him, 3,000 of the approved teachers will be deployed to basic and primary schools, while 2,000 will be assigned to post-primary institutions. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has reiterated his administration's commitment to restoring commercial activities in Oron local government area to redeem its ancient natural identity as one of the major marine economic hubs of the state. Governor now gave the assurance during an interview after carrying out an inspection at the ongoing construction of the Oron Marine Terminal Shore Protection, Jetty, Warehouse and Recreational Facility project in Oron. He admitted his administration's commitment towards ensuring the development of the marine terminal with modern facilities to enhance the economic potential of the area and restore full commercial activities to boost the economy of the state. Addressing the progress of work done at the project site, the governor commended the project contractor for the speedy realization of the vision, stating that his decision to pay a visit to the site was to inspect the progress of the project and compare the architectural design with the reality on ground. Government House correspondent Jen Owa reports the governor who thanked the people of Oron for their cooperation and support to the contractor to ensure the progress of the job, described the project as a treasurable gift to Oron people and charged them to protect and take ownership of it. In the meantime, Governor Moino has urged the people of the state to participate in the continuous voter registration ZVR and APC membership e-registration exercise, stressing that it is crucial for validating party partnership and ensuring their voices are heard. Addressing a crowd of APC members and supporters at his hometown, Ikodekwene Udo, the governor said that boosting both registration is also critical to attracting more dividends, programs and welfare to the area. Governor directed the people to ensure that they register appropriately with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to have their permanent voters card (PVC) and become eligible to participate in future electoral exercises. Having gone around during the day to inspect the ongoing 120 meters Ofurio Eket Bridge and the 2.5 kilometers dual carriageway connecting Eket and Sudibium local government areas and the ongoing General Hospital project in Ikodekwene, the governor enjoined the people to fully support the project and other developmental initiative of the administration for the overall benefits of the local government area and the state at large. Earlier, the chairman of Sudibium local government area, Charles Alfred, had commended the governor for his impactful leadership across the state, expressing the people's delight and pride to have the governor as your son. He described the governor as a man whose exceptional leadership and performance have distinguished him for the respect and emulation within and beyond the state. Let's move now to Africa, where, despite heavy fighting against rebel forces over the past few days, the South Sudanese government insisted that it was not at war. The United Nations have said the clashes are occurring at a scale not since before the 2018 peace agreement. The latest fighting between factions loyal to the president, Salva Kiir, and his longtime rival, Riek Machar, erupted in late December in Jole State, north of the capital, Juba. President Kiir's forces and those loyal to his first vice president, Machar, fought a brutal civil war from 2013 to 2018. In September of that year, they reached a peace deal known as the Revitalized Agreement on the Resolution of Conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. We'll take a quick break right now. When we return, the news at 10 continues. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump sent border Caesar Tom Homer to Minneapolis on Tuesday to ease tensions after 2 U.S. citizens were shot dead by federal agents, signaling a shift in the administration's aggressive immigration enforcement tactics. Holman met with the city's mayor and the Minnesota governor amid growing political pressure and public outrage. Homer was put in charge of the Minneapolis immigration enforcement search in place of U.S. Border Patrol Commander at large George Bovino, who sources said was being demoted and reassigned after having overseen most of Trump's crackdown in Democratic-led cities. So on the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel would focus on disarming Hamas and demilitarizing Gaza following the return of the last hostage from the territory, warning that no reconstruction would be allowed until those goals were achieved and reiterating his opposition to Palestinian statehood in Gaza. Netanyahu also vowed to block the establishment of a Palestinian state in Gaza, insisting Israel would maintain security control over both the territory and the occupied West Bank, despite widening international recognition of Palestinian statehood. The U.S.-sponsored Gaza ceasefire plan, in effect since August 10, stipulated the return of all hostages held in territory under its first phase and Hamas disarmament under the second. Still to come in the news. Super Falcons to play pre-WAFCON tourney in Abidjan. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now let's go over to our business, health and sports stories. On our business news, the federal government has taken steps towards resolving Nigeria's estimated 4 trillion naira power sector debt burden as 5 power generation companies signed settlement agreement under the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Program, following the issuance of 501 billion naira bond. The bond, which reportedly recorded 100% subscription, was issued in Lagos, attracting interest from pension funds, banks, asset managers and other institutional investors, signaling renewed confidence in the government electricity market reforms and its approach to resolving legacy sector challenges. The program, driven by President Bola Tinubu, is designed to address payment arrears owed to power generation companies for electricity supplied over the past decade. Still in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has approved a temporary window allowing importers to use expired National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control licenses for import documentation, offering short-term relief to businesses affected by system changes in Nigeria's trade processing framework. In a circular issued by its Trade and Exchange Department and published on bank's website on Tuesday, the CBN said authorized dealer banks may continue to process form applications with NAFDAC licenses that expired on December 31, 2025. The approval, which takes effect immediately, will run for 2 months and lapse on February 28, 2026. On the health news, the governor of Ogun State the wife of Ogun State Governor Bamidele Abiodun has called for the support of religious leaders, community gatekeepers and other stakeholders towards the success of the measles rubella vaccination campaign, which runs from Tuesday to next Thursday across the state. The First Lady specifically tasked communities and religious leaders as well as other stakeholders to support the campaign by spreading accurate information and mobilizing communities to ensure that every child between 9 months and 14 years is vaccinated during the exercise. Describing the vaccines as very safe, effective and free, the governor's wife said the state government plans to vaccinate 3 million children aged between 9 months and 14 years under the campaign. Still in health, a consultant neuropsychiatrist, Dr. Muna Kadiri, has identified psychosocial problems and mental health issues as key causative factors of suicide in Nigeria. Kadiri, also the medical director of Pinnacle Medical Services Limited, spoke with newsmen in Lagos. She said that most people who died by suicide or attempted suicide could do that as a result of a mental health problem or a psychosocial problem. She listed the mental health and psychosocial problems to include depression, anxiety, mental disorder, social isolation, stressful life events such as a death or loss of a job, and substance abuse. Although she said where family history of mental disorder or suicide, previous suicide attempts, bullying, poverty frustration, financial imbalance and hopelessness which exists at the individual level among others. Lastly, on the news at this hour, Nigerian Super Falcons will begin their build-up to the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations by competing in a 4-nation West African tournament scheduled to hold in Abidjan later this month. The team has confirmed participation in the invitational competition, which is organized by the West African Football Union B and will run from February 27 to March 7, 2026 in Ivory Coast. The tournament will feature 4 teams that have all qualified for WAFCON 2026, with host Ivory Coast joined by Nigeria, Ghana and Senegal. The mini-tournament is expected to serve as a final competitive test for the teams, ending just 10 days before the start of the WAFCON finals in Morocco. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emedion James and you've been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.